I do want to bring in now prominent D.C. trial attorney Megan Whiteside. Megan, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Natasha.
Megan, how can something like this happen? I mean, this man is accused of drugging, raping, and impregnating a minor. He's released from prison on what sounds like a technicality. Shouldn't someone have stopped this? Who is responsible to prevent this from happening?
Ultimately, under Texas law, it's the prosecutor's office and their responsibility to file an indictment within 90 days. And by filing it on the 92nd day, they did not satisfy that Texas law. And so really, folks in the community are understandably upset by this, but the judge's hands were tied. The Texas law is clear that after that point, the standard is what the defendant can reasonably pay. And so the defendant was required to file the necessary paperwork, including an affidavit of what he was financially able to pay. And based on the results, the judge found that to be $1. And so really we have to take a step back in time and try to understand. I don't know that we'll ever get a clear understanding why the prosecutors missed that deadline.
In any way, is the state responsible or to blame for his release?
Like I said, it's a 90-day deadline. It's very clear. What we do know from the prosecutor's office is their investigation is ongoing, that they are investigating potentially other attacks by this defendant with the same victim or other victims. But what I would expect to see would be an amended or superseding indictment filed after the initial indictment in order to satisfy this 90-day requirement. Now, all of us make mistakes. This just happens to be one that has pretty significant consequences for the victim, for her family, and for the community.
While we have you here, I do want to ask you about this other case we're monitoring. The two teenagers accused of intentionally crashing a stolen car into a retired police chief. He was on a bicycle at the time. It killed him. And we see on police body cam one of the teens saying that he's going to get a slap on the wrist and be out in 30 days. It's really, I think, striking the public as a very brazen response telling this story. He feels that he can just get off like that. Now, the driver is 18 years old. He was 17 at the time of this alleged crime. Do you think that first or second degree murder is on the table here?
It is, because in Nevada, they have the ability to charge with something called open murder, which allows prosecutors at a later time to determine if they're going to pursue first-degree murder, second-degree murder, felony murder, manslaughter. It essentially gives them options as they finalize their investigation. Again, like we can see in the Texas case, investigations change, are ongoing, information, new evidence comes to light. But what we don't often see that we see in this Nevada case is direct evidence of the crime. The video itself speaks volumes, both to the intentionality of this act, enough to substantiate a first-degree murder charge, certainly a second-degree murder charge. And even though the passenger was only 16 at the time, participation in a felony in which this killing occurred rises to the level of felony murder, where that individual, that teen, could also be charged and face quite a significant sentence.
Yeah, what kind of sentences are we talking about here?
We're talking about, now, again, the death penalty is not on the table for minors, and that is something established by Supreme Court precedent. But we are looking at life in prison. Potentially under state law, these individuals could be eligible for parole. It will be decades down the line. And so at this point, with the mounting evidence against these defendants, what we can expect to be happening, which is likely happening now, is that the defense attorneys for these two young men are trying to negotiate plea deals. There is a substantial amount of scientific research and evidence that establishes that for young men such as these, their brains are not fully formed. And I think the community and all of us who have watched the horrific video are appalled at the conduct of these young men. But they were teenagers at the time, and the science does provide at least an argument, a difficult argument for these defense attorneys. But essentially at this point, they're facing a conviction. It's just a matter of, will it be a plea agreement with a specific amount of time in terms of punishment, or will these young men go to trial?
Okay. Megan Whiteside, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.